Targets are up, boys. Let's kick this off.
Clean House stands above the rest of Modern Warfare's campaign because it actually achieves the projected goals the developers discussed pre-launch, to present scenarios in as objective a way as possible and let you come to your own conclusions of what you just played through. How Clean House succeeds is in its part observational yet still participatory coldness. Elsewhere doesn't apply such a confrontational perspective because it's too focused on its characters and dramatic plotting. As much as the pre-launch talk said there wouldn't be such a traditional split of good versus bad guys, Modern Warfare ultimately ends up painting a tropish and overly simplified picture of current war. It picks a side with Price and the lads and justifies its home team's actions, no matter how questionable, in a way that's never extended into any other faction. It's because COD really likes Price, and the ending call to the recognisable names from the series past positions him as a Nick Fury-esque character, one used to set up Modern Warfare's version of the Avengers, continuing the trend of franchises assembling a universe of characters to hook its plots into. It's fan service, which isn't a bad thing on its own. I'm a sucker and got a kick out of hearing the names of Soap and Ghost myself. Only it's not on its own. It's attached to scenes of child murder, first-person torture, sexism, xenophobia and all other kinds of ideas perpetuating the topical landscape the game has clung to. The on-screen geographical titles are also exactly reminiscent of Civil War, stylising globe-trotting transitions, and is another way Modern Warfare backs itself into the same threshold of complexity. This is the Avengers but for counter-terrorist special agents, and the game's irreverence for its own characters prevents it from really achieving any nuance, because it doesn't want to fuck with or question them. Is it out of fear, uncertainty, or perhaps it sincerely believes in its archetypes? Either way, Clean House never falls into these shortcomings because it keeps its characters at arm's length, and shows some restraint in the habit of overly indulging in the actions on screen.
X-ray down.
With no music and a confined set of spaces, the tension is at its most high-strung, and every person taken down is just an invitation further into the next dark hallway, illuminated only by the night vision goggles and your ability to react on the spot. It's a series of split-second decisions, and because it's not overly dramatised, it actually lets you sit in the boots of a soldier, sweating at the possibility that their life could be jumped upon any second, and the ways in which that could affect your judgment.
Three won't get up here now, bang. Roger.
By extension, you begin to understand how mistakes could be made in a situation like this, how innocents could unfortunately get caught in unclear moments of stress, and the idea that what constitutes an enemy combatant is constantly shifting, as a hostage goes for a gun, a woman for her baby, and those that plead for you not to shoot. It feels like the cold case scenarios of earlier games, updated for the modern era. What was once a weaponless charge into Stalingrad is now the claustrophobic peaks around every possible corner of a house holding enemies from and on your own soil. Each room cleared of ununiformed assailants ended with a "secure" is as icy as the chatter aboard the AC-130 back in COD 4. None of these implications are the result of a written cutscene or fed to you through character dialogue so on the nose it itches.
I lead soldiers, you train killers.
But we are all killers here, no?
They're gonna breach.
It's all in the seat of the player controlling every step and shot taken. It's not only one of the best missions in this campaign, but one of the best in the series. It achieves the position to tap into the mid-ground the game needs to stand on in order to provoke the questions it wants to. It's notable compared to the rest of the story, which is too wrapped up in the coziness of its characters to reach the confrontational height of Clean House. And it's fine if it wants to be that, but honestly, I just get the sense that it was striving for more nuance, only that the adherence to maintain a certain type of appeal limited the ways it could go. Hence the less complex dichotomy of ultra-evil Russian villain man and blokey mustache geezer in every other part of the campaign. And the many other heavy-handed moments it goes for are far too clumsy and preposterous to be taken seriously. It's not far away from slipping on a banana into duty calls territory, sometimes feeling like a parody of itself.
Give the nuclear missile bomb to us, leader enemy boss, and then put your hands up.
Okay.
At the end of it, Clean House made me pine for a proper reboot of Rainbow Six or SWAT. Single player scenarios with the tighter mechanics of the Vegas series given this coat of paint could have the potential to surpass any other media in seating an audience within what should be uneasy territory. Perhaps the Clancy brand has enough leeway to approach the topic with the deft-handed and ambiguous distance I personally think it needs. All that being said, I don't think the heightened approach to telling this kind of story is non-viable. Spec Ops: The Line is about as subtle as a sledgehammer, but sometimes you need that to knock down the wall and allow for other artists to come and fill in the cracks. The Line delivers a lens on war and its depiction in games through 3 characters and a focus on narrative. But the difference is that it's willing to question its cast, put them through the meat grinder and never grant them immunity from consequence, and thus also the player. Part of me imagines a Modern Warfare where you could legitimately question the actions of Price, where the game itself does and there's potential for a provocative take in there. But to do so, Infinity Ward and perhaps us as an audience have to fall a little out of love with him to do so. From the looks of things, the future for this iteration of the Modern Warfare series seems to be tipping more towards the direction of what the Modern Warfare 2 era kicked off, the action blockbuster version of war. Again, that's fine, as long as the games that are forthcoming know that's what they are, and as long as we do too. There's a place for COD to essentially be a reliable Black Hawk Down style of action junk food, and to not be demeaned for it, because as much as I'm compelled by art that provokes me to think and engage, I also love seeing Schwarzenegger machine gun a forest down with his jacked mates. And this, after all, is an entertainment medium, as well as a place for deeper experiences. I just wish COD knew which one it really wanted to be and perfect itself, with no self-conscious feeling that it needs to be anything else.
Dropped it in.
We made the right call, sir.
We'll bet your ass. We got a location on the wolf.